Yesterday was a pretty massive day for Cardano, and today is another really big day for Cardano. Another massive DApp has went live, and this could be the future of lending and borrowing on Cardano. So we're going to go over it and also a bunch of other important news in today's video and wrap it up nice and quick. First things first, if you want to support the channel or just say thanks or maybe earn passive ADA on your ADA or all of the above, you can do so with the Jack stake pool by staking your ADA there. Now, what I'm talking about specifically today in the big news and the big day for Cardano is Liquid Finance launching on mainnet of Cardano, meaning they are live. This is a lending and borrowing platform that has been anticipated for well over a year now, especially by myself, nearly 2 years. Or close to over a year and a half. And it's because it has been kind of the cutting edge, or presumed to be the cutting edge solution for bringing not only value into the Cardano ecosystem and locking it, so total value locked or TVL, but also just allowing people to have lending and borrowing on Cardano in a more liquid and seamless way. So yeah, the audit went through, and shortly after, earlier today, Liquid was launched on mainnet, which I'm going to cover, and we're going to go on the DApp and just cover exactly what it is at the end of the video, which won't be too long, so just stick around. But before we get there, I also want to go over some interesting things related to Liquid that are quite important. This is the announcement of a collective Zappin event. This is essentially to gain protocol liquidity and also put yourself into a borrowing position against LQ and ADA. LQ is a governance token for the platform. It has other utilities, but right now it can't be used directly on V1 of Liquid Finance, the platform that just launched on mainnet. And I'll cover more on that in a sec, but I do want to mention the key highlights of this collective Zappin event, which is being short formed to CZI or CZI for me, if you're in Canada or the UK. But anyways, just so you know the benefits and cons, or pros and cons of this, protocols such as Liquid Finance can use MinSwap CZI to acquire protocol on owned liquidity, or POL, and to grow their liquidity on MinSwap. This is pretty important to have depth in the liquidity pool for their pair. If they want it to be efficient, by supplying ADA, participants are essentially providing liquidity for ADA/LQ. Okay, so not ADA/Q ADA, which is what is being used to allow people to borrow on Liquid Finance right now, but ADA/LQ, the governance platform token. So make sure you're aware of that at the market price the moment this CZI ends. Also remember that if you're participating in the collective Zappin event, participants become liquidity providers of ADA/LQ pool and can farm the LP tokens. But since the ADA and LQ pair will be open to trading throughout the entire event, it means that if you're participating, you're going to be essentially putting yourself at the risk of impermanent loss, which I myself am not a big fan of. So you're going to have to watch your positions. You're going to have to be careful. There is some risk here. There is some upside, but there's also upside in plays people are going to be making to counteract the upside inside of participating in this event. So just be careful, do your own research, make your own decisions. But that is a thing that is happening in regards to the protocol on liquidity and just people upping their liquidity, or specifically Liquid and LQ pairs upping their liquidity on MinSwap and the incentive to do that. But yeah, 8 hours ago, Liquid Finance announced that they are live on mainnet. And the founder of Liquid Finance, or the CEO rather, has put out a little message to the Cardano community, developers, auditors, Catalyst voters, and SPOs. Thank you for the launch of V1 and helping us get there. He also put out an interesting statement, which I'm going to cover what this really means right now and how this affects you and how you can benefit from it, which is compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. So naturally, we built a 2x compounding interest rate machine for ADA. I'm going to cover that in just a sec and how you can, right now, live on mainnet, earn 2x compounding interest on your ADA. But right now, there's already 1.25 million ADA in TVL. That's after, just a few hours. This has likely changed since now. I believe it's around over 2 million. I'll tell you in a sec. And Cardano's TVL has also already been drastically upped from JED's launch, the Cardano algorithmic over collateralized stablecoin. And that was yesterday's big news or big day. But this is another big day for Cardano. But briefly, I want to cover yesterday's news and just kind of combine it with today's and show you how much impact this has had so far on Cardano's TVL. I also want to mention, before we go over directly to the Liquid platform, that right now the staking validators are delegated to 16 different SPOs, which are tagged below. This doesn't concern you really. This is just the ADA and the smart contract for you lending out your ADA that will be staking to these stake pools. And these are single stake pools. So delegating with these stake pools helps decentralize the Cardano network. And there's a pretty nice selection of stake pools. Even though mine didn't get selected, there's some awesome stake pools in here and a bunch that I definitely support personally too. Now, just before we get into the last really big shebang in the video, I want to mention that Jed is now tracked on DeFi Llama and going over to DeFi Llama, which will soon likely track Liquid's TVL too, as this only took a day to get Jed on here, and DeFi Llama has been awesome about this. But we are now at $124 million of TVL. As you can see here, the change over the past month has been pretty insane. MinSwap 46%, Wing Riders 85%, Indigo 76%. This does have to do with the price of ADA's going up. ADA goes up, USD value goes up, TVL is in USD, so that TVL goes up. But this also is largely due to a bunch of people participating in the Cardano ecosystem, as a bunch of more dApps have went live, and people are just generally excited to use things, participate, and also earn on their ADA. Now, I don't want to make you wait any longer, so without further ado, we are on the mainnet Liquid app right now. Now, I have had some trouble, and so have other people, fully loading the app and the net APY, supply balances, and borrow balances. And being able to borrow right now does take a little bit of time to get transactions through, as a lot of people are using the system right now. But as you can see here, nearly 3 million ADA in liquidity available to borrow. So this is pretty awesome. A bunch of people are supplying here. The current APY for supplying is 1.29%. This is also on top of your APY that is staking rewards in general. So this compounds together, makes for probably over 4% APY if I were to guess, and it's pretty good, as normal staking rewards by themselves are around 3.5% APY. Now, I will be doing a full video on Liquid's platform tomorrow or the next day, one of these days, so stay tuned for that, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to see how this works, what this means, and also the further yield streams that are coming to the platform, I believe with V2 and other iterations of Liquid. But right now, it is pretty simple. You do have to supply ADA to borrow ADA. It makes a little bit less sense at the moment, as there's not different tokens to borrow against, so you can't short or long them. But in short, Liquid Finance has been running without any problems so far, other than slow load times because there's a ton of server requests. But things are looking pretty good. You can see the APY on my supplied ADA is around 1.29%. And again, this is on top of my staking rewards, so it's pretty good stuff. Now, I don't suspect this APY to stay this high with only one form of supplying, but maybe it will. I don't know for sure. The borrow APY right now is about 7.4%, so it's quite steep. We'll see where that goes when we add in different types of tokens, but everything right now is looking pretty good. TVL is increasing, people are supplying, and people are borrowing, even with just ADA for ADA, as there is some benefits and different strategies that people are presuming into the markets to try to benefit. Ending the video though, I want to go over just 3 more things. An update in Jed, MinSwap Labs month in review. As I mentioned, for their TVL, it is up 46% in the past month, and they had a crazy month in January with about 100 million ADA in trading volume, or 37 million USD, an increase in wallets of 20% as well, or monthly active users, and a bunch of different APR farms. Indy is popping off in terms of their APR at 68%. Now keep in mind, most of these APRs will not stay this high, so do your own research and be careful. But MinSwap has been doing great things. A solid month for Cardano DeFi, and also MinSwap in general. Speaking of Indigo Protocol, they have earlier this week officially integrated with DeFi Yield app. You can now connect your Cardano wallet for an overview of your account value, ADA staked in CDP liquid staking, CDB collateral and debt, and also Indy staked in Indigo from all the DeFi Yield app. So you can go over there, see everything that's going on in your wallet, including Indigo Protocol activity. And finally, yesterday's big day was all about Jed, and today was more about Liquid, but the Jed train keeps on rolling, as there is now 11.7 million Jed in reserves, or nearly 30 million ADA, with a reserve ratio of 601%. So things are looking pretty good over on the Jed side of things. Nothing going crazy. We'll see if anything happens over the next few weeks and months, but Jed is looking pretty solid, and it launched pretty smoothly as well, so I'm quite happy about that too. Anyways, that is it for today's video. There's a lot going on in Cardano DeFi ecosystem. If you want to support the channel, stake with Jack Stake Pool, hit the subscribe button for a full tutorial on Liquid that will be coming within the next few days. I'll see you guys then. It's been your friend Jack. Peace.